All right, it's Kicking It With Jason. Big episode, and I'm gonna tell you why this is a big episode. This is podcast 100. I did 100 podcasts within the first year of my very first episode of when I started Kicking It With Jason. And I think I'm just gonna I'm definitely freestyling this conversation, but it's gonna be a lot of reflection, a lot of looking back on what this podcast has meant to me, what I learned from it, the experience, what I've gotten from it, what others have gotten from it, everything I've learned, the challenges of it, or the discoveries that I've gained through it. This is what this podcast is going to be. This episode is going to be about a lot of gratitude, a lot of fun. I wouldn't even say a lot of nothing bad from it, really. If anything, starting a podcast has been one of the greatest things I've done in my life, in my late 20s, as a guy who's just super into documenting, creating content, documenting my journey, learning more, and a lot of entrepreneurial adventures. I think a podcast has been super good for me. And with this episode, whoever's listening, and for the people who have been listening, 1 episode, 2 episodes, all the episodes, 30 seconds of an episode, every minute of an episode, you dip in and out, I don't care. Thank you for any time you put into being on my podcast. Thank you for being a guest, if you have been a guest, or reaching out or asking me about it. Just a whole lot of thank yous. But I'll start with this. So, my 100th podcast episode, I'm on the road. Okay, this is a lesson in itself. I'm on the road. I'm on I-5 right now. It's February 21st, and had a great weekend in SoCal, hanging out with my brother, seeing some friends, and I love my brother a lot. He's like one of my best friends, my best friend in the whole world. And so doing this podcast after a weekend like that feels good. But I'm on the road doing this, and I'll tell you, my first podcast episode relates a lot to my last podcast episode, and this is the lesson right here. Start with what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Start with what you have and get to work. Start taking action. Start moving your hands and feet with the resources that are around you, because you just need to get going. Action is like one of the best things you can do in the whole entire world. No idea, no great idea, no great art, no life discoveries, no life change, nothing. Creativity means nothing without action, without the work. And that's my first episode was done at Costco back in March 2020. Was done at Costco while I was getting my tires changed on my Honda Civic, getting brand new tires. These tires are still on here, still good, but hasn't been a lot of driving this year because of the pandemic. And I was just like, man, I need something to do while I'm waiting for my tires. I don't want to just go buy a heck of pizza and hot dogs and just stuff my face and just not do nothing. I said, this is a good time to start a podcast. It was like March, I can't remember the date, 2nd, 3rd, something like that. And I sat down at the table and I just started talking why I wanted to start my podcast. I was talking about Calvin and Hobbes and poems and what I was going to be doing and why I started being a trainer, all these cool things. And that first episode led to the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th, and it led to guests. It led to meeting people. It led to inspiration, creativity. It led to other people finding out more about me. It led to me learning about more other people. And then now on this 100th episode, there's nothing glamorous here. Just like the first episode that was done at Richmond Costco, there was nothing glamorous, no backdrop, no special $100, $200, $300 mic, no glitz and glamour, nothing sexy. Just turn record on. I wish I had it on video. I didn't have my first episode on video. I think most of my episodes, like 98 of the 100 episodes are on video. I wish I recorded it, but just like that first episode, I'm on I-5, nothing glamorous. Like, I'm in my car. This car is like, it's a used 2016 car. I got blood splatter all over the windshield, cow poop maneuver to the right. You know, you can smell it coming through the car. And I already passed that part. I think it's coming up again. But, you know, it's just farmland out here. I'm on the road and I'm knocking out a podcast that's going to be transcribed. It's going to have post-production of being on Spotify, of being on YouTube, of being on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And it just works. It matters. The storytelling, the intent, it's all powerful. It's all doing something. And that's a big lesson for me because, as you know, like, when it comes to making content, when it comes to doing what I do as a trainer, when it comes to me being creative and making content all day, every day, booking clients, communication, marketing, branding, all these different things. Like, I don't have a boss for that. I don't have somebody saying, Jason, make sure you do this. Jason, here's the checklist for today. Like, this is all self-initiative. This is everything that I'm doing on my own. This podcast is something I'm doing on my own. The name I came up with on my own. Reaching out to people I came up with by myself. The episodes, the titles, the way I market it, the way I get it uploaded. Like, I'm learning so much responsibility. I'm becoming so much, I'm gaining so much strength. And, you know, all this it's good for me for something in the future. So when I do want to start that gym, was a big goal of mine, start that gym, like, I can use the muscles that I learned from this to apply to that, to talk about the gym, to not be afraid to be vulnerable on camera and talk about the process of opening a gym and everything. So the big lesson here is start with what you have, get to work, and have the self-initiative, take the initiative, and don't worry about what anybody thinks. Don't worry about if it's going to be great. Don't worry about perfection. Perfection is such a myth. Perfection is such a big wall that people can hide behind to pretend like they're going to do something to get ready. You know, I'm sure I've done that many times in my life. I just start now. You know, I just go. And that's going to lead to the next answer, the next step, the next breakthrough. And so, you know, the more you do something, the less scarier it gets, the better you get at it. I'm way better than I am than my first episode, my 100th episode. My 200th episode is going to be way better than this episode, the 300th, so on and so forth. And it feels so good, you know? Like, it gives me something to look forward to every day. I look forward to doing my podcast. I look forward to documenting my journey, to building content around everything. Yeah, I mean, this is so cool. Like, look at this, man. This is like majestic stuff here. Like, the sun is shining on me. That's definitely the big man God above. Like, the energy is flowing through me, and it's being pushed to whoever the listener here is being pushed to you. So, like, take this, take whatever I'm giving out right now, and use it for your passion, for your happiness, for your creativity, for your next step, for your next idea. Please take this. Like, don't just let this be something you're playing to bypass, or just something to play because you thought, oh, cool, it said Jason's 100th episode. Like, please get something from this and go do something with it, man. Like, I'm begging people to really be happy and go for their passions and their dreams and do what they love. Like, doing what you love is just the most thing that makes sense in the whole entire world. It's just one of the things that makes sense. There's a lot of things that make sense, but doing what you love makes so much sense that I can't even describe it clear enough of how much sense it makes to do what makes you happy. Like, being happy feels so good. And I think with the pressure of making money and trying to impress people, all these things come along and we think we have to go do something extravagant. Nah, you just got to do you. There's a Lil Wayne song that I've been listening to on his No Ceilings 3. He has this line, he says, I'm not trying to do you, I'm too me. I'm not trying to do you, I'm too me. I'm too me, I'm too Jason. So whoever you are, be to you. Be like whatever you like, start doing that. Even if it's for free, even if you don't make money, like, do things for free. Start doing it because it's fun. your hobbies. Like if you love basketball, you play basketball, you go shoot hoops. You don't make money, but did you know you could? Did you know that you started making content around that? You started teaching people how to do a jump shot, a crossover, how to get the ball off the backboard correctly, dribbling drills, shooting drills, how to use cones, how to use a chair, to use dribbling chairs to resemble a defending, how to break down defense, defensive drills, defensive mindset, turnaround jumpers. Like if you build content around that and you just started giving your advice, and you told stories about that time you played basketball, your first time playing basketball, your first time you dunked the ball, all these things and these stories, like it's going to lead to something. And I'm even confident to tell you enough that it will lead to money. My passions make me money. I grew up in the karate school at the age of 8. I've never stepped off the mat. I've been teaching every day, some kind of martial arts, kickboxing now with adults, personal training. And I remember when I was a kid, all I wanted to do, I just wanted to do karate, and I wanted to teach. I wanted to do karate, I wanted to train, I wanted to sweat, I wanted to look good, and I wanted to do it the same for other people. And that turned to leading to teaching fitness classes. I turned to running classes, my own classes, turned into creating my own curriculum, working with instructor Ron, working with instructor Sean, coaching, working with my brother, coaching, teaching, traveling martial arts, winning money at tournaments, all these different things because I was passionate, because I was just doing it, because I was just like, I'm waking up today and I'm gonna go do what I wanna do. I wanna do what I love. And that's what I'm doing today. Somebody was asking me like, do you get paid for your podcast? Do you get sponsors? I'm like, nah, that's not even what it's about. Like, I'm not even worried about that, because that will lead, one day this can lead to sponsorships and getting money. What this is about is just making sure I got everything on camera. I'm documenting, I'm speaking my story, because so it's recorded. So I can look back on this 10 years from now. I can look back on this 20 years from now. I can pass this on. It's a legacy. And it's about just sharing my truths, sharing the start, the beginning, the during. It's not about making money on the podcast. It's about giving. It's about sharing. It's about somebody's listening on the other end, and they're gonna get something from this. And it's about the stories or the feedback that I do get. People are like, man, that episode, Jason, that sports card episode really helped me make this investment. And now that card you got me, dude, that card's like $1,000 now. Thank you so much. I agree with your Star Wars content, your Trae Young, what you said about Trae Young and the cards. Dude, that's amazing. Thank you. Like I get DMs. I got a text today from my friend. He has all these Star Wars cards because I was talking about Star Wars. That feels so good. I don't need the recognition. I like the recognition. Recognition feels good. I admit that. But those texts and those DMs of people talking about, like, man, what you said about self-love, and what you said about confidence, and what you said about using fitness as a way to not only build your mind, your body, but to build your mind. That episode did something for me. I love that. And this podcast, just, it's mine. I own this. It's me. Like, I created this. You ever make something, you just feel so good? You ever bake a good cake, or you make a good plate of food, and you eat that food and you're like, man, it feels so good. That's the way I feel with this podcast. It feels so good that I did this. It feels so good that I'm hungry every day to just create stories, make stories, and live stories. So this 100th podcast, man, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future with Kicking It With Jason, with how big it's gonna grow. I don't know that. I do know I got a few listeners. I know that I don't have hundreds of listeners, but I know that I don't have 100 people who was stream. I never had 100 plays on a video. I don't even think I've ever had like 25 plays on a single episode. I have to go really look at my where I go upload everything in the back office on Anchor. But one person is listening, dude, that's everything to me. That's like one person sitting here in the car with me, and we're driving, and I'm just talking to them. That conversation, that one-on-one conversation is everything, because that one-on-one conversation they're gonna remember forever. The same thing with each episode. And I just want to continue to be my best. I just want to continue to be better, and just strive for all the good things that I can get and that I can give. And just to recap, of why it is called Kickin It With Jason. How did I come up with the name? Well, I'm a fitness kickboxing guy. I kick and I punch. Kicking is slang for hanging out, chilling, conversation, coffee, hanging out. So it's Kicking It With Jason. And so thank you to everybody who has listened, who's been a guest. I always want more guests on here. And if you do want to be a guest, please reach out. I'm down to talk to anybody. This has helped me with my communication skills, how to do an interview, all sorts of good things. So, episode 100. Jason, talking to you, my own self. Good job, man. I'm super proud of you. Anybody else that's listening to this, you want to start a podcast? Do one today, right now. Get off this podcast. Put the camera on. If you're cool with the camera, turn it on. Start talking. Does it have to be perfect? No, just start talking. If you want to write out a list of some questions for you to answer, like you're interviewing yourself, do that. If you put up a post and the caption was fire, right? And you can type really well, you can write out really well, just read right into the camera. Say, hey, this is my first episode. I'm not really comfortable with just freestyling yet, but I do want to share what I wrote. And here's what I wrote. And you just read it right into the camera. It's the intent, it's the stories, it's the fact that you have something coming from you that is going to matter for the ears and the listeners on the other side. And not only that, the recording, the documentation, the production of it is going to be part of your legacy. It's going to be something that potentially is really here forever. And you're using the internet, you're leveraging the internet like we couldn't do before. You're making your own radio station, you're broadcasting, you're being a DJ, you're being your own talk show host, you're really just you're being a television in a way we couldn't do in the past. So man, leverage that. I'm trying to leverage this. I'm trying to get better at it in every way I can. And that's a big deal, man, when you really think about what I just said there of the leverage of the internet, the fact that we got the internet, the fact that any of us can start a podcast, any of us can get online, get on TikTok, take these videos, pieces of the videos, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok, put it on Twitter, put it on Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and people are gonna watch it. 1, 2, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, 5,000, maybe we get 1 million. And the ideas that are going to come from the inspiration, you can't, man, it's hard to measure. It's hard to just exactly pinpoint, but no matter what, good is going to come from it. Good is going to come from making your podcast. So with this 100th episode, that's all I really want to do is say good job to me, and whoever's listening, start. That's the two things I want to say. Good job to me. This is 100. I got 100 more to go. But you who's listening, start. Please start. Like go. I don't care what people have told you. They said you're weak, you can't do it. People have laughed at you, you have negative comments, you have these insecurities. People have put their insecurities on you, all these terrible other things. I don't even care. Those things don't even matter. You continue to do you. You continue to just keep going. Let me tell you, people's insecurities and negative comments cannot keep up with the pace of the action and the drive and the confidence you put in. It just doesn't keep up. It doesn't. Like I get negative comments here and there. I get people who are like, man, you're always on your phone. You're always on there. Whatever. Like all this stuff. The pace does not matter. It can't even keep up with what I'm doing because I'm just like I-5. I'm on the car. I'm in the road. It's like somebody's like, you can't drive home. I'm driving home. Like the pace of the car is moving. It's the same thing you got to do as a person and with an idea that you have. Get in the car, start driving, and the pace of whatever is happening is not like the negativity is not gonna be there with you. So take my confidence, use it up, soak it up, get it all, eat it up. It's good, and just start. Please just start. Please just start. That's Kickin' With Jason. That's episode 100. I'm at 19 minutes and 51 seconds of just going off, just talking. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I got the inspiration from Gary Vee, mainly Gary Vee, one of the people I look up to the most in the whole world, who gave me, who tells people to make content. Start your podcast. Go, 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 go. Thank you so much for that, because I listened and I'm doing it, and I'm passing it along to the next person. So with that said, go start. Episode 101 will be up already. It's coming up. This is episode 100. Thank you. Kicking It With Jason. I'm out.